Call the names. Wake the room. Wake the room. Wake the room! Luyu, Rex, Pam Ray, Naomi, Afasiana, Babbler, Monarch Soul, Jojo, Grey Eyes, fill my eyes. Poets assemble. No masks, no manners. Say it plain, or say it broken. Monday night in the garden of enlightenment. Low light lit minds, every line got intent. Clock ticks crooked and the room turns vigilant. Quiet so loud you can hear what the tension meant. Then it slips after midnight, manners get murdered. Nice little masks get cracked by a word or a murmur. Twisted Tuesdays twist truth till it turns on its heel. Clean cut faces go strange when the dark gets real. You can feel that shit, that slick little slip when the grin stays sweet, but the eyes don't sit. Like the room grew ribs, like the walls grew ears, like the hush got hands and it's pulling you near. And the words don't rest, they press. Put a heel on the chest, leave a dent in the breath. Every line like a knock from the back of the brain. Like you came in one shape, you won't leave the same. Late night poets, where the room leans in, where the sharp gets shown in the soft dome dim. Late night poets, hear the whole thing shift from a whispering the ribs to a line that lifts from the darkened edge of doubt to the pull you can't ignore. We don't just read the night, we make it something more. Say it plain, say it broken. Late night poets, Wednesday breaks, parts in the park, sink down the spine, half halo, half hazard, both hands in the light. In the yard, a seduction walks soft through the smoke. Silk on the tongue with the blade in the joke. Books and bards wakes dust in the depth of the shelves. Old ghosts lean out and start naming themselves in a craft and sullen. Not the ache gets a voice, pain stands up straight and makes silence a choice. Then break on through when the devil gives way, when the masses sink but the pulse says pray. Echoes in the dark, go hunt the fear. That thing with no name starts ringing in your ear. Say it, say it. Fill my eyes with poetry, don't water it down. Let it bite, let it bloom, let it burn through the crowd. Bad company grins like a bruise, dressed smart, and rhythm and rhyme puts a boot through the heart. Late night poets, where the room leans in, where the sharp gets shown in the soft dome dim. Late night poets, hear the whole thing shift from a whisper in the ribs to a line that lifts from the darkened edge of doubt to the pull you can't ignore. We don't just read the night, we make it something more. Say it plain, say it broken. Late night poets, some come shattered, some come slick. Some speak honey with a blade in it. Some sound velvet, some sound wire. Some walk in low and take the room higher. Some come holy, some come liars. That's the thing! This ain't filler for the dead space, no. There's a pulse with a pen, this is blood with an echo, this is breath to the backbone, ink with the crown. Live mics, live nerves, truth laid bare in the round. This is the beautiful mess, the bruise and the bloom, the line that cuts clean and makes a little room. Late souls, wide eyes, all nerve in the dark. A room full of hearts beating hard through the dark. Wake the room, wake the room. Late night poets, where the room leans in, where the sharp gets shown in the soft dome dim. something more. Late night poets, when the clock slips past polite, we tell the truth. L&P, we love you. Stay frosty.
Well, hello everyone. Welcome to Pam's Birthday and Twisted Tuesdays, all in the same time. Go figure. I hope everyone is having a great week and has an even better week to follow. And yes, hello Pam, happy birthday!
Well, thank you. And hello, Jean. How's it going?
If it was any better, honey, I'd be twins. But look, I scarfed something up for you, and I'm going to put it on here just because I can. Monty, forgive me.
Kick them shoes off and dance with naked feet. It's not the same as doing it naked, but just as sweet. It's the greatest way to give yourself a birthday treat. So get 'em moving on and bring up that big heart's beat. This is your AP. Happy birthday. Sing along Tuesday tweet.
Oh, that was great. Yeah, I saw that earlier in the room when Monty put it in. That was awesome. Thank you, Phil, and thank you so much, Monty.
I had to
I
swipe
got it. That was great.
I had to swipe it, so I hope Monty isn't mad at me. But I figured he's a good sport, so we were good.
Yes.
Cute little song. Cute little song. I liked it. So, how are you today, Pam?
Well, I have to say, all in all, I'm doing pretty good.
Good.
My leg's still hurting from yesterday, but the weather was nice. I got out for a small walk, and then spent a lot of the day laying down, but still it was nice. And I woke up to my son had prepared a breakfast tea for me, with all kinds of goodies, most of which he bought at the store, but he did make some homemade peanut butter cookies, which were really good,
Sounds
and had everything nicely set up. And like, it was, for the most part, it was a quiet day, but it was nice, and the temperatures weren't too hot and weren't too cold. So
right. And
yeah,
it
good
was
stuff.
beautiful here too. So hopefully it was a taste of whatever we had here, because it was just gorgeous. There was enough of a breeze. It wasn't too hot. It was just really nice. You know.
Yes, that's what I noticed here too, is there was that nice breeze, and that really makes a difference.
So did you see that the herd heard it's your birthday?
I did see that. That is so cute.
I saw that. I said, "Oh my God, that's kind of so Pam." It reminded me of one of your paintings you might have
That
grabbed
is
for
perfect.
inspiration somewhere. The texture wise. And then I laughed. I said, "Oh yes, yes, yes." Hello, Jojo. But yeah, so I'm glad you had a nice day. You know, sometimes quiet is the best way to go. You know what I mean? I like that on my birthday. I like quiet and easy. And of
Oh,
course,
absolutely.
I'm throwing stuff around.
Absolutely. And my oldest daughter is actually taking me out for breakfast, but she has to wait until Friday after she gets paid. So,
Right? Oh, I get
so
that.
that'll be that treat too.
That's right. It's an upcoming treat. I like those. Stretching that.
Yes, something to look forward to.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And on Friday, my baby turns 18.
Oh my
So
God.
I know. Oh my goodness gracious.
Wow. It's so unbelievable when it happens, isn't it? I look at my
It is.
grandson.
It really is.
My grandson's
And
been
you wouldn't think, considering I have 3 other kids that turned 18 and more, that I would be in this state of shock. But there is really something about your like they're all your
My
babies,
baby,
but your baby
my
baby.
youngest, yeah. That's
Yep.
the way that's the way I feel about my grandson. He's going to be 16 this year, and I go, wow.
Wow.
I'm like, wow. So I'm sure when he turns 18, I'm going to go through it all again. But I get it though. Those baby things. It's like my baby is now going to be 34. I'm like, wow. When did that happen? Well, I watched it happen. He's been a corker all his life, so I mean, I get it. 18. Mm. Yep, yep. It's amazing, absolutely amazing. Well, see that, and it's close to your birthday, so you just be celebrating all damn week.
Mm-hmm.
nothing,
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
nothing wrong with that. Oh
Well,
my God, Monty said, "Do you mean 18 months, Pam?"
thank goodness, no.
Right? Been there, done that.
I mean, as much as I thought my kids were adorable and I had a lot of fun when they were younger, I'm just perfectly happy with them all being adults and independent, you know?
Absolutely, I get that. I get that. Mhm. No, so well, let's see. You had a good day. It's your birthday. I figured I'd be silly all over the place tonight for those visuals and give you something to chuckle at. But I got to tell you that one I put up that comes up on the YouTube, that cow move over, a birthday cow's coming through, or whatever the heck it says. I saw that picture and I said, "Oh my God!" I said,
That was fabulous. It's amazing the images you can find, that on the internet.
honest to God, I saw that and I said, "That's got enough attitude for us." Yeah. So
Yep.
anyway, Pam. Okay, we did our weather. Anybody else got weather to report? I'm good for it. We have Monty, Robbie, and JoJo. Robbie's going to say it's just like Pam's. Monty's going to tell us something different. And JoJo's probably going to say same as you. To me.
Right.
Oh my God. He says it's bloody cold, Monty G said. Yes.
Oh yeah. Well, given the time of year it is where he is, that I guess makes sense.
Well, the other night it was like 56 in Melbourne. So it's got to be close to that. Yep. JoJo said same as me. Yep. That's what I figured. And, well, Robbie hasn't answered yet. So I guess eventually he will tell us that it's the same as you. So that narrows down the bonding time of the weather report. So we will just leave it at that. So, Pam, what do you want to tell us about this wonderful show tonight?
All right. Well, for tonight's show, we do have three carryovers, but then we will get into our main topic, which is tell us a story inspired by the art of John Bauer. So for
Awesome.
the contest and for the show, we were looking for poetic story, right? Free verse, rhyme, whatever, prose, however you put it, but something that told a story. John Albert Bowers was born June 4th, 1882 in Jönköping, Sweden, and died November 20th, 1918, sadly at the young age of 36 in Vatern, Sweden. He studied at the Royal Swedish Academy of Arts in Stockholm. He was known for his illustration and paintings. He actually got his first commissioned work at the age of 16 to illustrate stories in books and magazines. Most of his artwork is like has to do with fairy tales, folklores, and landscapes, and that's why I thought it would lend itself well to storytelling. And he sadly died at 36 because he drowned together with Esther, his wife, and their son banked in a shipwreck on Vatern, a lake in southern Sweden. Yeah, I don't know. I really like the classic style of his artwork, like I said, because of his focus on, fairy tales and the I thought it landed, and folklore, it lent itself very well to having a night of having people tell us stories,
Right? They were
or
wonderful
I guess
prompts.
since we're the ones reading the poems, we'll be telling people
That's right.
stories.
We're going to tell the stories for the people. But that was they
Yes.
were wonderful prompts. They really were story prompts. You know what I mean? It was a great choice.
Well,
I looked
thank you.
at them briefly. You don't want to hear the stories, I can tell. Just saying. But they did. They were really neat. A lot of personality in them, I guess I could say. Different. I don't know. I like the vibe. So well done, well done, well done. So I don't know, Pam. What do you want to do? Do you want us to sing happy birthday to you? I can bring 3 people on and make them sing.
To sing, oh God, that would sound,
Well, we don't know how it would sound here on this format, or whatever the hell I want to call it.
oh my gosh.
We never know. It could sound really good this time around. I know when
Yeah, for
Pam.
like the first time in like 6 years. Well,
Oh my God, we used to sound so
or
bad.
10 years, I mean.
We used to try though. We used to try every now and
Yeah, honest to goodness, we put a lot of heart into it, didn't
then. Yep.
we?
Yes, we did, and we sounded like a bunch of drunks sitting at the bar.
We really did. Like
Yeah.
you listen, like you don't realize it at the time, but then you'd listen to the recording and it'd be like, oh, good Lord, how did
Yeah.
these drunks get in and start singing?
Yeah, because we all don't think about the time delay, that little bit of a time delay, and everybody's singing at a different time, and we're all singing the same thing, and it didn't sound like rounds. It didn't sound like we were singing row 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 your boat or anything. It wasn't good, but we did have a lot of laughs on it. We did. So
Oh,
why
absolutely.
not, right? Why not? Mm. But yeah, so okay, honey. Well, wherever you want to begin, we will begin.
All right.
I've done my
And
first.
I'm going to put up our first carryover, which is I Miss Those Days by Jackson D. Gargar Jr. And I'll go ahead and give this a read.
Well, thank you, ma'am.
Those days I would wear when sunset drove away fear, setting my heart indeed clear. Water glows like diamond pearls, silly faces that were weird. And poem. And
Well,
that's a yeah, this was The Art of Dora Carrington, which was opened up to pre-writes. And your thoughts, Jean?
well, I don't know what the image was, but I have to say I really like the imagery in the poem. Those days I would wear when sunset drove away fear, setting my heart indeed clear. I don't know. I think the imagery is nice in it. I love the line "Water glows like diamond pearls." Um, the silly faces that were weird. Well, every now and then I guess that comes into play. But it was short. It was nice. It was well done. And thank you, Jackson D. Gargar Jr. Absolutely.
Yeah, it was definitely one of those poems that I would, great comment by the way, Jean. One of those poems I would call short and sweet.
Yep.
It had wonderful imagery, a lovely nostalgic write on days spent by the water's edge. And I what I found interesting was the idea of when sunset drove away fear, because I feel like for most people it'd be sunrise, but there must be like something in this. There's something in that line that makes you feel like that this is a person who loves nighttime, that finds nighttime to be a comfort. It just has a really joyful undertone and. Very well done by Jackson D. Gargar Jr.
Hmm.
and which is a fairly new name to me. So it's
You
always
know,
good to see a new
I was
name.
thinking that too, Pam, that the name is new to me, relatively new, but that image is very familiar. So I wonder if they changed
Oh,
their
maybe somebody.
name,
Oh, okay, you
because
might
I
be right.
definitely recognize that fox in the quill. Because I remember when I first saw it, I thought that's a pretty cool picture. So I'm just saying, doesn't make me right. Anyway, sorry.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. And hello, Monarch Soul. She must be on YouTube listening.
Yes. YouTube is always a great option for listening for sure.
Right,
Yeah, good to see her. Yes.
absolutely.
And all right. Well, up next we have Whispers by Budo. And whenever you're ready, Jean, go ahead and give that a read for us,
Let
please.
me grab that and put it where it belongs. And then I will read it. Up it goes. Okay. Whispers by Buddha. Who listens to the whispered sighs of weeping boughs left wholly abandoned by its children who lovingly embraced and clung to the trunk and climbed its branches? Once the roots play mirth, or once the roots of playful mirth flourished here in the giggles and grins of laughter, but with seasons passing like glimmers of hope, diminished with the settling dust, only to be swept away by the hand of time. Now the relics of distant memories soaked into weather-stained wood, creaking and braying and fodder for the elements, are all that remain. A stark revelation of solitary chagrin to reminisce on what was and what will never be again. End poem.
Great read there, Jean. I thought this had strong, heartfelt lines, wonderful imagery and metaphors. It speaks to me on a sadness of nature that will never return, destroyed by mankind. Um, and it also speaks just on the passing of time, which we can't change. Um, I'm trying to look at image 13 because I don't know if it was image 13 in another contest or because this was a pre-write, but I seem to remember thinking it was a pre-write that fit fairly well. Yes, image 13. It does fit well with that in a way. I see that.
Mm,
But wonderful imagery as always, just a beautiful write by Budo. I thought there were great lines all the way through, but I did especially like that end stanza. Now the relics of distant memories soaked into weather-stained wood, creaking and braying and fodder for the elements are all that remain. A stark revelation of solidarity, chagrin, to reminisce on what was and what will never be again. There are just some things we can't get back once they
right?
are gone.
Isn't that
Um,
the truth?
Excellent write and very well done by Budo.
Hmm. Yeah, I thought this was a great piece penned by Budo. Excellent take on his chosen prompt that he shows at the top. And as you said, it was a nice fit with the contest. Wonderful imagery and thoughts, you know, throughout. So thanks for sharing with us, Buddha. Hmm.
Absolutely, absolutely great comment, Jean. All right, and up next we have From the Eye and Heart of the Cedar Tree by
Hmm.
Lena 61, and it goes like this. She feeds the earth in bed she lie in hearth, whole body of wood and dirt in tow, inchworm there in each bristle, each branch within her cedar heart still flow. Sacred geometry, I see the rhythm within the trees, treetop pattern lines, and light hugging at the canopy. A single eye within old roots, weary watching, hoping winds weave the seeds of the fruit, not be crushed by the man in his sand leather boots. Crooked tree, crooked me, I'm as crooked as can be. That's not an insult, it's a blessing, it's default. I've learned my lessons, not by guessing or by waiting in comfort, reroute by immersion, by adapting, by converging in trenches. The oaks don't choke in strong winds, they reach to the stars, with hope locked down to their shins, down to their scars. She caresses the atmosphere as her tears let go ancestral fears. Then she let go her weapons and released her gears. End poem. And this, let's see here if it says which prompt this was written to. I'm not really sure, but I do know there is quite a few paintings that were done by Dora Carrington that did have trees in them, so that would make sense. But either way, this was beautifully written. I gave this the bronze in the contest. And your thoughts, Jean?
I thought there was a wonderful personification of the cedar in this. Great imagery throughout. Um, wow. Crooked tree, crooked me. I'm as crooked as can be. That's not an insult, it's a blessing. It's default. I've learned my lessons, not by guessing, or by waiting in comfort. Reroute by immersion and by adapting, by converging in trenches. And, I could take the whole way down to the end. I really like the last stanza as well. She caresses the atmosphere as her tears let go ancestral fears. Then she let go her weapons, and I released her gears. And released her gears. Wow, making up things. But I think it was very well done, and I like the flow of it as well. So great job, Lena, and thanks for sharing with us tonight.
Oh, absolutely. Great comment there, Jean. Yeah, I thought this was beautifully written, and I too really enjoyed and appreciated the personification. I like the way that this shows the strength of the cedar tree, and which the strength of the cedar tree becomes a representation of the person of a person who the cedar tree represents. Um, it also speaks on learning to accept yourself, like the cedar tree saying, "Yes, I'm crooked, but I'm got these crooked branches for a reason. This is part of my strength. This is part of my purpose." And it's, learning to not only be strong like the oak, but be comfortable in being yourself. And I thought there was great lines throughout, but I did especially like the second and third stanzas. Wonderful imagery, great flow, especially in that third stanza. That just had a really nice flow to it. Crooked tree, crooked me. I'm as crooked as can be. That's not an insult. It's a blessing. It's default. I've learned my lessons, not by guessing or by waiting in comfort reroute, by immersion, by adapting, by converging in trenches. Wonderful lines and very well done by Lena 61. All right, so that was our 3 carryovers. And now we're going to go into some story rights inspired by the artwork of John Bauer.
Nice.
And so let me get back to where I need to be.
And away we go. Just kidding.
Oh. All right, we have The Educated Child Story by Monty G25, and we do have a SoundCloud for this.
Yes, we do. Let me put this up, send it out, and let me, I almost played the other one again. Here goes.
Once in the precisely documented annals of the archives, there was this singularly identifiable moment in time when, coincidentally, at the juncture of a barren field where such intersects with a densely timbered landscape, what would have been a protected forest of near-extinct tall foliage, a large mammalian animal found an absconded petite royal female person who was unable to navigate beyond the perimeter of her current confines. She was desperate to identify her pathway back to her place of residence. She's at the brink of being inconsolable and in dire need of counseling. The overtly large mammal sought to identify the petite royal's concerns. He lowered his torso to ensure her plight was audibly accurate. Much to his bewilderment, it eventuated that she was multilingual, and she fluently spoke the dialect of his dense, follicularly clad species. With unwavering intent, he identified her extraordinarily abysmal plight, and by employing his impeccable correlative assessment techniques, he recognized that her dilemma was not atypical of her predecessors. Historically, they too had embarked on similar consequential adventures. They had replicated the same navigational misgivings as she had, given the evidence that was presented to him during their interaction. He surmised that she was categorically and unequivocally disoriented. He proffered sufficient counsel so she could embark on a corrected path. She returned to her usual domicile unimpeded and unencumbered. Once again, peace was restored to all participants in this adventure foray. Translation. Once upon a time, a little girl got lost in the woods, and a big friendly bear found her. He showed her the way back home. They all lived happily ever after.
Great, right here, Monty, and wonderful choice of a voice to put your story to. Thank you for the recording. It is very much appreciated. And just a reminder, everyone, if you're unable to call in, the next best thing is to make a recording of your poem, because then we get to hear your poetry in your voice or how you would like it to be presented. And your thoughts, Jean?
Coming to give you the unmuted version. Actually, I didn't start anything. I thought this was a nice story, Monty. Great use of language. You know, the words, lots of big words in the story, right? But then I started to laugh because I loved the translation. Short and sweet. I really enjoyed the piece all the way through. But the translation did give me a chuckle, so that was pretty good. I mean, once upon a time, a little girl got lost in the woods, and a big friendly bear found her. He showed her the way back home, and they all lived happily ever after. I mean, honest, that sums it up, I guess, nicely. So much fun, and thanks as always, Monty, for sharing with us.
Absolutely. Yeah, this was great comment there, Jean. This was great storytelling, and definitely that the translation was the icing on the cake. I mean, because it speaks on the irony that when people are telling stories that are supposed to be read for entertainment value or just to amuse children, and but there's also supposed to be that lesson learned, and the lesson can't be learned if the child doesn't understand the words being said. But still, even though there were a lot of big words, I did think there were some just wonderful word choices. And even if there hadn't been the translation, I still would have smiled through this. Just because it was like reading through a puzzle, and it's almost like reading Shakespeare, like just trying to get the basic idea of what someone's saying. But I thought there were clever lines throughout, but I especially like the overtly large mammal sought to identify the petite royal's concerns. He lowered his torso to ensure her plight was audibly accurate. Much to his bewilderment, it eventuated that she was multilingual, and she fluently spoke the dialect of his dense, follicularly clad species. I mean, I have to say, Monty must have had a lot of fun writing this.
Honest to God.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
Good stuff.
So thank you, Monty. for sharing that with us. Very much appreciated. All right. And up next, we have A Princess Possessed by Way Down Upon Joy. And go ahead, please, Jean, and give that a read for us.
Sure thing. Oh, all kinds of. Hey, Robbie, you have fun now. He's switching over to YouTube.
Ah, okay.
Okay, A Princess Possessed by Way Down Upon Joy. The spirit of a bear is unseen, but known to those who know. The truth I'll share, well sensed foreseen, as gentle Romeo. What girl has not claimed him as hers when love was seeking face? Forget the fact you unmasked yours while dreaming of that place. A princess finds a noble peer, well-mannered from the start. He offers unaggressive cheer, and hears thoughts she imparts. She is possessed by humanness, but understands much more. Her spirit bear, I will confess, will test it's not folklore. And there are days when he will share wise and wisdom's wealth, and she will always feel his care, a silent sense of stealth. These days she meets him in her dreams, now that she's traveled long, her useful days remembered scenes, a never-ending song. She wears a bear paw pendant now, reminding her he's near, his spirit guide now hers somehow, possessed and always dear. End poem.
Great read, Jean. Oh, this is such a beautiful story, right, by Way Down Upon Joy. Wonderful imagery, great rhyme and flow. The flow of this really allows the storytelling to grab your attention and keep it all the way through. I like how this has the fairy tale elements, but it also has like elements of like say Native American beliefs and other cultures that believe in like having that spirit animal that walks beside you, that is a guide for you. And so I thought that was a really nice touch. Great take on the chosen prompt. I have to say, out of all the artwork, there's something about the little girl with the bear, that this particular picture that really captured my attention. This was actually one I wanted to write to myself for myself, but hadn't gotten around to it. So, I'm just so thankful that for a while there it was going a little slow, and then it started to pick up, and we got just the right amount of rights. Um, but I thought there was great lines throughout, but I did especially like, and there are days when he will share the wise of wisdom's wealth, and she will always feel his care, his silent sense of stealth. These days she meets him in her dreams, now that she's traveled long, her youthful days, remembered scenes, and never-ending song. I love how that speaks on the idea of remembering, uh, friends that, guided you, people, and, imaginary friends, people who guided you through your youth, and remembering them with a sense of affection. So excellent, right, and very well done by Way Down Upon Joy.
Absolutely. Yeah, I thought this was a wonderful piece penned by Joy. I love the imagery, great rhyme and meter, excellent take on the prompt, and I really enjoyed the piece, especially the last two stanzas. Um, Very well done. So thank you, Joy, for sharing with us. As always, much appreciated.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Great comment, Jean.
Thank you.
All right. And
Oh, did I do that?
up next,
Yes,
we
I did.
have Munch on This Bit of Existential Dread by Rick Six.
Okay.
Yeah. She sought solace, but something in the way one of the meadow flowers drooped particularly reminded her of Edvard's most iconic work. The sky was churning, turning from brown to blood red, and she buried her face in her hands, sobbing. And poem. Boy, I tell you, that's a poem where the title is almost as long as the poem itself.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, this was a clever write. It basically just spoke on the image itself. Although you could get away without seeing the image, as I have to say in the others as well. You didn't have to see the images in order for it to make any kind of sense. Um, but this is very, you know, very well done. I think he captured a lot of the image very well. I got a little confused when it said turning from brown to blood red, and she buried her face in her hands, sobbing. I didn't see the transition of color in the image, but I got it in his piece, and really that's all that matters. But very nicely done, Rick Six. Because yeah, she does not look like a happy woman in this image. So nice job, and thank you for sharing.
Absolutely. Nice comment there, Jean. Yeah, I liked the imagery in this, and it is one of those pieces that really connects well with the artwork or could stand on its own. I like this poem for what it is, a nicely written brevity. I would not consider this a story. It is a tease of a story.
Mhm.
But I do like the reference to Edvard Munch's The Scream. I mean, I think I pronounced his name wrong, sorry, but the painting The Scream. And so that was really cool. And I thought the sky was churning, having that line by itself was nice. So thank you, Rick Six, for sharing this lovely brevity with us. Nicely done. And all right, I'm going to go see what's up next. And do.
Mhm.
All right. Up next, we have The Key to the Universe by Daniel Duhane. And when you're ready, Jean, go ahead and give that a read for us.
You got it. Okay, let me see what I have here. The key to the universe. Well, which image is this? Oh, 4. Okay, you'll tell me what that is later. The little imp held the key to our universe. With it, she could unlock the power of its light and set forth into motion a whirlwind of peace. But there was a faction who wanted it to destroy the earth, so that every life form would be destroyed. But the tiny imp was a very clever imp, and she hid it deep in the bowels of the earth to safeguard it. No one knew of its location except her. But one day she fell madly in love with another imp, not knowing it was a demon in disguise. And he used his power to influence over her to reveal the key's location. The imp fell into its trance like state, as if under a spell, and revealed where she put the key to the earth, making the demon very happy as he transformed back into his true form. When the little imp saw this, she cried and cried, saying, "What have I done?" But it was too late. The evil had released to do harm. Oceans swelled and swallowed up whole cities in an instant. The sky rained meteors like heavy rain. Realizing her folly, the imp prayed for the suffering to end, and by some miracle a light shone through the darkness. When this happened, a warm, loving glow was felt everywhere, and calm came once again to the world in turmoil. The imp realized what had happened was not her fault, and from that day she knew she was part of something bigger than herself. End story.
Great read there, Jean. I have to say, to me, this is a fine example
Mm,
of storytelling. It has a cohesive beginning, middle, and end. It has either likable or relatable characters. It has lessons that are taught and is entertaining at the same time. And it's got, like, to me, it's got meat on the bone, which I really appreciate. There's great lines throughout. I like that there's with the tiny imp. I like that there's that lesson that no matter how small you are, you can make a difference. I also like with the idea of the demon coming in disguise that, there's that lesson of, be careful of who you trust. Um, and then there's also that idea of learning to forgive yourself when you make a mistake. And I thought there was great lines all the way through. But I did especially like the first stanza and the last two. Wonderful imagery throughout and great storytelling by Daniel Duhame. Very
mhm,
well done.
absolutely. I don't believe I tripped over it as many times as I did. I don't know what's wrong with me some days. I add words, I subtract words. I guess, it's a little odd.
I do the same
Ah,
thing.
and I hate it when I do it because I usually catch myself and then I'm mad at myself. But I thought that this was well penned. A wonderful take on the prompt because I did go over and look at what the prompt was. I enjoyed the story told. I thought it was a nice, complete story, as you mentioned, Pam. And I thought it was clever piece. So nicely done, and thank you so much for sharing with us, Daniel Duham.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Great comment, Jean. And yeah, excellent write by Daniel Duhame.
Mhm.
Um, all right. Gonna grab what we have next. And we have She Who Married the River by X-Ray Mike 79. And it goes like this. Some say she was there before the river, her body teaching water how to bend, the current untangling to receive her before the world decided river's end. She moved through current like thoughts through prayer. Her body was a cathedral the cold waters kept. The herons paused, the dragonflies would stare, as if the river had knelt and wept. The bridge gave way, the mill returned to clay. The decades stacked like silt along the shore, yet still she came at dusk, at dawn, to lay her body down where she had laid before. The crow had watched her from the canyon rim, had seen 100 seasons flood and fade, archiving what the ancient channels know. Everything it carries is remade. The last light found her floating like an ember, her copper skin still catching what remained, as if the dusk itself might yet surrender to her the one the wild kept unclaimed. She heard the blast that split the canyon floor, then watched the trucks like insects start to swarm, and something in the rapids potent roar grew quiet, asking who would mourn its form. She watched the concrete grow where none belonged, watched rabbits drown beneath a rising lake, and all the river taught her in its song, went silent, her heart the last to break. She died the year the canyon filled its brim, the river vanished underneath the flood, and all she ever wanted was to swim. She is the river, its water, her blood. End poem.
Mm, wow, this is a great piece. Excellent piece penned, wonderful imagery. It was a sad story told, but it was so very well done. It's sad when you get down here towards the end, um, where it picks up. She heard the blast that split the canyon floor, then watched the trucks like insects start to swarm, and something in the rapids' potent roar grew quiet, asking who would mourn its form. From there down was sad, and I don't know. She died the year the canyon filled its brim, the river vanished underneath the flood, and all she ever wanted was to swim. She is the river, its water, her blood. Um, I really liked it very much. They had wonderful imagery at the beginning of this, and not that the end wasn't, good imagery. Don't get that wrong. But with the references, she moved through the current like thoughts through prayer. Her body was a cathedral the cold waters kept. The herons paused, the dragonflies would stare, as if the river had knelt and wept. It's really nicely done. So X-Ray Mike 79 is a new name to me. And I think it was a great take on the prompt because I went over and I kind of checked that out. Listening with one ear and looking with two eyes is a dangerous thing for me. But I thought it was just it was a great inspiration for this piece, and you can kind of see it, up in the beginning of it, you kind of pull it in. And yeah, yeah, nice piece and very well done, X-Ray Mike 79. I really enjoyed it, and thanks for sharing with us.
Oh, absolutely. Great comment there, Jean. Yeah, I have to agree. This is a wonderful storytelling, right? Great rhyme and flow, amazing imagery and metaphors. While I don't know if it's exactly about this, it did give me thought of the building of like the Panama Canal or other times where people have built into nature and through the building, through the progress of mankind, nature becomes destroyed or altered.
Oh, yeah.
I do think this is a great take on the chosen prompt. It's beautiful storytelling. And I like how there's this lesson in it, that the spirits of nature are grieving for what's lost. And there it gets very strong and visceral in those last three lines because we have to see the pain, and that's what Mike X-Ray Mike 79 allows us to do in those end lines. Is to the first stanzas are about seeing the love, seeing this connection between this eternal spirit and the water, and then the last stanzas are about seeing the pain when what was natural is either completely destroyed or altered. And there is just amazing lines throughout and very well done by X-Ray Mike 79.
Nice
So,
comment, Jim. Nice comment. Are they being bad again? Those two?
what's that?
Those two being bad again? They're
They
good
are
at
not. I was just chuckling at the name. I'm sorry. I just chuckled out loud because I was thinking about the name like X-Ray Mike. And I was always thinking, the only reason I would have ever not kept my married last name after the divorce is to say that I'm an X-ray. Although technically I can still say that.
Right. I like that. That's pretty good. Oh my God. That's
Let's see. For all I know, they are being bad. I haven't actually checked on them in a while. So,
it's been pretty quiet. It's been pretty quiet over there.
they are quiet. I feel like there's some mischievous behind the scenes, like, like children. Like it's like children. Whenever they're really quiet, that's when you have to be the most concerned.
That's right, because that's when they start acting up in the other room unattended. Sneaky little devils.
Yep, exactly, Monty. Exactly. All right.
Mm.
Let's see here. Do, 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 do.
I hope that's not a
All right.
copyrighted song you're singing.
What's that?
So
Oh, yes.
I hope that's not a copyrighted song you're singing. Just
I,
saying.
I don't think so.
Good thing, Pam. Good thing. I have
Oh,
to
we
turn
should probably check into that.
I have to turn you into the police.
I'll sing it for Alexa and say, Alexa, find this song.
Yeah, there you go. Oh my God.
And then she'll pull up every single episode of Late Night Poets
Oh
over the
my
last
God.
10 years and go, I found it.
Well, I got to tell you, I put those 3 YouTubes up in the room before the show because I said, well, I can't do it on the air, so I'll just have to blast her with it. But I thought maybe you'd get a kick out of the reggae one. Yeah, I'm
That was
grateful.
awesome. That was. Yes.
Where were these when I
Yes.
needed them
There was
before?
a couple that wouldn't allow me to play it because it said not available. So I'm thinking they weren't available in the United States or something.
I
But
listened to them,
did you? Okay, because when I clicked on it, it said not available.
but when it
Huh.
said June 17th, I felt some kind of way about that.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. I was like, what the heck?
yeah, how the
At first, I
hell?
thought you put that date on there and then got, because I was like, well, maybe she's just confused about what day it is or something, you
Oh,
know.
what that was about.
No.
I'll just share that value.
Oh, that was funny.
Oh
That
God.
was funny. But yeah, well, up next we have The Way Young Lovers Do by Dark Night of the Soul. And whenever you're ready, Jean, go ahead and give that a read.
Sure thing. The Night Prince asked Lena to take her hand. Pour la danse, pour la danse. When life and love are young, to all around them it enchants. The Night Prince performed a pirouette, peacock proud, in his kaleidoscopic cloak of red. The spruce and alders around him bowed. And when love is sweet and new, how delicately we court, how fair it is, how soft and true, when not played for sport. Lena offered up her hand and girlish pose, as on the Rome, as on the Rome. She owned a maiden's beauty, the envy of Malmo and to Stockholm. The doves coo out in harmony to the brightness of beginnings. A song to woo, a song to woo. He giggled, she giggled, they held hands the way young lovers do. As they move on together, we spy 2 paramours on their rendezvous. We giggle when they giggle. Few things give hope the way young lovers do. End poem. Hmm, nice. Oh, and
Great
I'm
read.
sorry. End story. I'm sorry. Forgot what I was saying.
It is both a poem and a story. So, you know, but great
Absolutely.
read there. This also would make for wonderful lyrics because the repetition
Hmm.
um, gives it a really nice lyrical quality, a rhythm to it. Like it feels like it represents, like it looks like the lovers in the painting are doing a dance from medieval times. And
Right.
it feels like this poem is written to go to that music that they're dancing to. Wonderful imagery and metaphors. I like the sense of movement in this, how it is a celebration of love. One of the things that Doug said in his AN is I see the image and get a vibe of the birds and trees getting caught up in the young lovers. Um, I like that. I like that. It kind of makes me think of the scene in The Little Mermaid where they're singing while all the nature is singing while they're in the boat.
Yep.
You know, I thought this had great lines throughout, a lovely rhythm, but I especially like the Night Prince performed a pirouette, peacock proud, in his kaleidoscopic cloak of red. The spruce and alders around him bowed. Ah, what in love is sweet and new, how delicate we court, how fair it is, how soft and true, when not played for sport. And there's such words of wisdom there too, when it says, how fair it is, how soft and true, when not played for sport. When you don't play with somebody's heart,
Right.
but you have fun with love, but you take it serious at the same time too. So excellent write by Dark Night of the Soul,
Yeah.
and very well done.
Yeah, I thought this was a sweet story poem. A great take on that prompt. I really liked that. I thought it really tied in. Nice imagery throughout and very well done. Enjoyable. And thank you so much, Dark Night of the Soul, for sharing with us tonight. Really well done. Great piece. Did I say
Oh,
very well
absolutely. Absolutely. I have to agree. Great comment, Jean.
done? Mhm.
All right. And up next we have Hello, Mr. Ogre by Julie Buck. And yes, it is my turn to read. Okay. Hello, Mr. Ogre. Are you unstable? Do you eat children? The enormous hairy-armed beast, ancient legend, came out of his cave, odd smirk on his massive face. Most say I'm a tyrannical monster. Your courage brought you here. Come into my place. I'll strike a match and light a fire. The puzzled boy, head cocked, knows fire creates or destroys a destiny, and he wants his own fate. The mystical creature, as kind as he seems, instills a quiver in the heart of this untrusting human kid. Gotta go, Mr. Ogre. The universe and I have a date. Plus, I do believe you are a child eater. The ogre shifted his weight. Busted by a boisterous boy who I bet couldn't taste any sweeter. End story. I'm sorry, I couldn't resist. That was just too fun to read.
No, I get it. I get it. I thought it was a great piece. It was a lot of fun. I shouldn't say it was fun. I liked the dialogue between the ogre and the boy. I liked how it started. Hello, Mr. Ogre. Are you unstable? Do you eat children? And I started laughing, and I'm going, okay, that's that's the way to begin a story with somebody that much bigger than you. you know. But I liked it all the way down, and it was like, oh, where is it? I'll strike a match and light a fire. And the puzzled boy, head cocked, knows fire creates or destroys a destiny. Yeah, but that ending 3 lines was great. The ogre shifted his weight, busted by a boisterous boy, who I bet couldn't taste any sweeter. Ah, so the truth comes out in the very end. So nicely done, Julie. I did like this all the way through. I thought it was clever. It was funny. Not every bit of it was funny, but it was funny. To me, I thought it okay.
Yes, yes,
Yeah, I kind of
definitely.
just liked the way it rolled, and you could kind of see that little bit of wariness on the boy's part. Clever kid, clever kid. Stranger danger. That was it right there. But
Yes.
so thank you, Julie, for sharing with us tonight. Nice little story told there. Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, this was great. Yeah, all the way through. I got a smile out of it, but it's got all the different layers that make for great storytelling. First of all, there is the dialect or dialogue back and forth between two characters. I like how there is that it's entertaining, and yet again we have a lesson learned. We look at a young boy who learns to think for himself, who learns to evaluate the situation, and be like, well, geez, if nice warm toasty fire, maybe some food to cook over it. But then again, do I really want to take those chances?
Hmm.
And just the idea of saying, what, I gotta go. I'm in charge of my own fate. I'm not going to be let it decided. And yeah, there was definitely that, especially in that ending, that great sense of humor. So wonderful lines throughout, and very well done by Julie Buck.
Yep.
And
Absolutely.
yes, absolutely. I did enjoy that, and yeah, such a great take. Because the thing with that particular right is, I felt like you just didn't quite know, even though it wasn't particularly long. It could have
Mhm.
gone either way. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like
Right.
it could have
Exactly.
been to turn out surprise the ogre's friendly and they're roasting marshmallows together. But
Absolutely.
you know,
Yes, the possibilities were kind of endless on that, and I liked it.
absolutely. It felt like it actually kind of felt like a choose your own adventure.
Right.
Like that used to be really popular in the 80s and 90s. I used to read a lot of those as a kid. And you know, the whole idea when you got to that point where boy, you know, turn to this page if the boy decides to do this, and you know, that's geez, I don't even know if they have those around anymore. Like, do they have choose your own adventures for adults? Because
I don't know.
that might be fun.
I've chosen a few of my own adventures. I can only speak for myself, though. Oh my god. We're not going to get into them tonight, Kay.
Okay.
I was younger.
That's for a Wednesday night. Wednesday night, choose your own adventure.
Oh, jeez. Don't do that, Pam. That could be dangerous. That could be.
Yeah, right.
Mhm.
Oh my gosh, I'm laughing at the thought.
Ah, boy, the stories we
Oh,
would get. Wednesday night story night. There you go.
there you go. There you go. Yep.
No, no. I put my foot down.
That would be fun and interesting.
Oh, that could be a dangerous thing. That'd be
Oh
dangerous
my
to get
gosh. Yeah, I
away
feel like that'd be one of those nights where the whip would be getting cracked a lot.
from. Yeah.
And you know,
Too funny. Way
oh
too.
my gosh. All right. Well, up next, we have A Tribute to Redheads by Shadows Night. And we do have a recording for that.
Yes, we do. And here I go to push the button.
Why don't you let me drag you back down memory's crooked, muddy track, when Cupid's arrow found its savage mark and wrecked strange music from my heart? With only a couple hundred lovers, she swore she was chaste, or so she said. Monkeys are dear in the eyes of their mothers. No time to spare, no time to waste. Nonetheless, this vertically challenged miss had me 1/3 of a shade impressed. Another third a rogue knight, half dressed up, profane thief, shamelessly self-possessed, stealing into her chambers with feathery finesse. The final third lingers, a cloud of beautiful mess. Reckless red wine spilled across her altar, unrepressed. Oh, the excess I should regress. Unless dare we address the buried thirds of me, still in recess, cloaked in sleepy bliss, longing unconfessed, where my shadows hunger for her light to undress. This vertically challenged miss, why did she slap when she could caress? It's not like I'm the first frog she kissed. Come tomorrow, I turn a prince, or maybe an ass, but either way, I suspect I'd be dearly missed. I guess my beating heart got ripped out a few dozen times, but hey, I was there for the wild chase after all. When life gives you lemons, you make toothpaste. She rose to join the ranks of respectable professors. They tore us apart by teeth of intervention divine, and I joined the lineup of her creep successors. Overall, I'd say everything turned out just fine. So the moral of this story, crowned with dreads, keep well away from those devil spawn redheads.
Wonderful right here, Shadows Night, and a great choice of music to put your words to. Thank you for this recording. It is very much appreciated. And your thoughts, Jean?
Well, I have to say it had me chuckling throughout, here and there throughout. I was like, okay. I loved it when he said, oh gosh, now I gotta find it. This vertically challenged miss, why did she slap when she could caress? It's not like I'm the first frog she kissed. Come tomorrow, I'll turn a prince. Or maybe an ass. But either way, I suspect I'd be dearly missed. I guess. I thought that one had me laughing because I was like, okay. When life gives you lemons, you make toothpaste. I was a little like, but that's okay. Made me laugh. I was like, okay. It was unique. It wasn't the same old, But I have to say, the moral of the story is where my heart truly lies. So the moral of this story, crowned with dreads, keep well away from those devil spawn redheads. Yes, we all know I had to laugh. I really did. So great piece, and thanks for sharing with us, Shadows Night. Nice audio as well.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Great comment, Jean. Yeah, I got a big chuckle out of this, especially that end line. Oh
Yes.
my gosh. This is great storytelling. The music choice was spot on to me. I like the dark humor of this, the imagery, the first person narrative. I like how, the idea of love and desire that just goes all wrong because you keep finding yourself attracted to those that are dangerous for you. You like a woman with a bite to her. And, I just, I, I just thought there was great lines throughout, but I did get a big kick out of another third, a rogue knight half dressed, a profane thief shamelessly self-possessed, stealing into her chambers with feathery finesse. The final third linger, a cloud of beautiful mess, reckless red wine spilled across her altar, unrepressed. Oh, the excess, I should regress. And the ending, of course, was great. But I also liked my beating heart got ripped out a few dozen times. But hey, I was there for the wild chase. After all, when life gives you lemons, you make toothpaste.
Right.
Like, just, keep the fun in the chase, and the idea of just, keeping going after what isn't going to be good in the end.
Right.
So excellent write by Shadows Knight, and very well done.
Mhm.
All right. And let's see. Up next, we have Long Gone Day. Let me click on this, make sure I'm getting this right. Long Gone Days Gone by White Tiger. And whenever you're ready, Jean, go ahead and give that a read for us.
Okay. Oh, wrong place. There you go, Monty. I threw you a bone over there. I don't even know if that link will work. It might. Okay. Long gone days gone by. Ginger men affixed to tin, spritzed with cider, flattened down, browned along the edges, decked with frosted frowns. Belladonna on the stove, steaming garland of garlic cloves, sterilizing scarves and cloths to wrap round bruised up joints and bones. Drained of life and wasting way, no starry signs of Christmas time, framed inside the faces of the aged and moldy minds. No smiles and no traces of those long gone days gone by. The seasons of the north can be wondrous thing to see. They crash the skies with lightning, and their thunder smashes trees. A polar pool with pounding thrills for youth to dip their toes, and time is stalled by second hands when all the clocks are frozen. But seasons stark and freezing startle grieving old men. No, starve. But seasons stark and freezing startle grieving men of old, for that is when their Maker carols hymns to hark them home. End poem. Nice.
Great read there, Jean. It's nice to see a write by White Tiger. He's a
Yes.
very talented poet. I like the imagery in this and the metaphors. I like how the imagery and the way the lines move back and forth. Um, and you know, I I like it does feel nostalgic, and I think that's in part because of the title plus the mention of Christmas time. But there's
Right.
also I don't know, like, there's a sadness to this.
Yes.
The imagery and some of the word choices make it feel like it speaks on loss, on those things which are gone, which that cannot be gotten back.
Like
Um,
I have to say, Pam, I'm just going to interject because I figure I can. You won't do
yeah.
anything but hurt me. I looked at the image for that, and it's really like one of the darkest images of all. To me, it looked like a graveyard, and I think the Christmas time came from the little dude's hat. The little dude, don't you love it? But I'm not exactly sure what he was. And the guy's
Oh,
walking.
yes, I
The guy's
see.
walking with his
Yes,
head
yes.
down, like he really doesn't want to follow him. And I kind of went, "Wow, that's an interesting picture." And it almost looks like a graveyard because it looks like there's a couple
It
headstones.
does.
So yeah, I could see where the solemnness would come in the piece. I'm sorry, I didn't
Right.
mean to like stop you in your tracks and go, "Oh, but look at the picture." But
No, I like that. Thank you. Thank you. It makes a lot of sense. It's funny too because I actually considered not putting that picture in, but I found it
right,
so intriguing. Like, it was just a little bit different in style than the other drawings.
right,
Um, so, I didn't I don't know. It's like I was thinking, should I, shouldn't I? But I like that White Tiger was inspired by that. And yes, definitely. When you pointed that out, because I actually had forgotten that image was in there. When you pointed that out,
Right,
it made sense that he really has captured the underlying tone of the artwork.
right,
This had a really nice flow to it. Wonderful imagery and metaphors. It definitely feels like it speaks on that idea of how grief and loss hits the hardest when it's the time for the holidays. And great lines throughout. But I especially liked the seasons of the north can be a wondrous thing to see. They crash the skies with lightning as their thunder smashes trees. A polar pool with pounding thrills for youth to dip their toes in. Time is stalled by second hands when all the clocks are frozen.
right.
Wonderful lines and very well done by White Tiger.
Yeah. Um, I'm looking for what it was that when I don't see the image, I go, "What is it? Where did this come from?" So I kind of went over there and lost my place in what I was doing. I damn, where was I going? Anyway, I thought it was nicely penned piece. A good take on the prompt. I think he captured that somber tone of the image well. Um, and I guess I could kind of go with you on that stanza that you chose. Um, and then the last one as well. So the last two for me. And the last one being, but seasons stark and freezing startle grieving men of old, for that is when their maker carols hymns to hark them home. And I guess maybe that's the image itself makes you look like the little dude is kind of leading him away. And I guess maybe in my mind I could kind of line that up with the other. Um, you know, at first I thought that the cloth between them was had something to do with that second stanza, but I'm not sure if I was right there. But it was very clever, and a nice take on that. It says life, aging, death, philosophy, and Christmas. So that's yeah. I mean, just nicely done. So thank you so much for sharing with us, White Tiger. Nice piece. Hmm.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Great comment there, Jean. And up next, we have The Epicenter of the Killed by Jim Bellamy. And it goes like this. The epicenter of the killed rose, the fields of drained veins, the summit of the sun, deranges life to find the deadness of the dawn. Roped in the nooses of the maimed, the murdered tribes of death must conflagrate the dunes of moonshine. Passion swerves against the evening sky. Guns, knives, bombs, gas inflame the glibness of men who stride the fires of time. Guns, knives, bombs, flames dictate a life for time to lead. The second tick aside, the movements of the clock, and we are snapped into guns, bombs, knives, gas, curate a church of stained blood. This carmine soul must lop away the hair of the people. Sadness defies the hellish wishes to the dead. Eyes pierce the round wires of a timepiece, scathed by stabbings, gauntlets clasp the sickles of the underfed. Drunk sailors swim for the dust bowls of the shorn heads of the swayed enclosed. End poem. I am going to have to go look at that image because that is a extremely dark right.
Well,
Is that?
Pam, when you go to look, it's going to show you that the young couple they look like they're dancing in the woods
Oh
because that's
yeah.
prompt 5. But I think that this refers to prompt 4 because I went over to
You
see
know
it. I'm
what?
like,
I
wait,
think
this
you're
doesn't.
right.
Yeah, I looked and I'm like, this doesn't seem to line up. And I looked at the one right above it and I went, that's got to be it.
Yeah, yeah, and that happens quite frequently. Like there are people who, for some reason, don't get that I put my numbers above the prompt.
Right, right. Happens to me
Because I've
too.
had that happen before, and
Hmm.
it happens.
No, it
But
does.
yeah, there.
Absolutely. But no, I just was like, I'm listening to you read it and I'm going, what prompt is this? You know?
Yeah,
And when I
right.
went over, I looked at the couple and I'm like, nah, this isn't it. This isn't it. But it is a dark rate, very much so. Um, but it's well done. I'm not saying it's not. It's a nice piece, well written, uh, full of imagery. You know, I mean, it's yeah, it's full of imagery. Let me say it that way. Um, where is it? No, that's not it. Uh, where is it? I was looking because I heard something when I was over there. I heard something that reminded me of um, the image, like with the figures with the cloaks and what have you. He said something about well, it's not at the very end, so that's a good thing. It was about them and their sickles. Where the heck is the sickles line? I don't know. I swear I heard something about sickles because you said it, and I looked and I saw the canes, and I thought, okay, you know, I could see how that would be. It's at the very end. It is by stabbings, gauntlets clasped, the sickles of the underfed. Drunk sailors swim for the dust bowls of the shorn heads of the swayed enclosed. That was wow. I didn't realize I was over there that long. But there's a lot of imagery throughout this piece, you know. But I can pick it up at the very beginning. The epicenter of the killed roves, the fields of drained veins, the summit of the sun, deranges life to find the deadness of the dawn. So I think that kind of fits the image very well. Roped in the nooses of the maimed, the murdered tribes of death must conflagrate the dunes of moonshine. Passion swerves against the evening sky. You know, I think it fits, and but it doesn't need the image, not at all. You know, and so in that respect, I say it's a great piece. You know, um, it's definitely a standalone, and the inspiration you can definitely see where it was pulled from. You know, so nice job, Jojo.
Oh,
Thanks for sharing.
absolutely. Great comment, Jean. Yeah, this has strong visceral imagery. It's an excellent dark rite that serves as words of warning for the way that violence and wars destroys the life around us. It has a great use of repetition, and there's strong lines throughout. But I did especially like the first and last stanzas. So excellent write by
Mhm.
Jim Bellamy and very well done. And yes, yeah, we've got some great story writes tonight. I was just I'm so happy because I love storytelling. You
Right.
know,
Oh,
it's
you're
just
good
something.
at it too. You're good at it too. Um, I mean, some of your stories have just been like epic in my brain. I used to laugh when we would do the story nights because you always had something very entertaining and full of imagery. So coming from you, you know, it's like, yeah, I agree. They're good story writes.
They
Hmm.
are absolutely, and thank you, Jean. But
Hmm.
yeah, well, up next we have Zan, the Forgotten Brother of Pan, by Bookworm Dave 227. And whenever you're ready, Jean, go ahead and give that a read for us, please.
Go drop that link, and then there we go. Zan, the Forgotten Brother of Pan by Bookworm Dave 227. Pan played his flute to the winds. Debussy spoke of his flute playing. In the music, Debussy made him stand out. Little has been composed about Zan, the younger brother of Pan. Zan played his horn to warn others, sounding an alarm of threats. From other lands or animals, threats to livestock. He would sit honing his horn, shaping calls. Now his horn has blown for the last time. He is teaching a younger apprentice to give warnings, to give closure of a day. Pan too would find an apprentice, to play together, at the concerto it would be. But horns and flutes, alas, not a match for Debussy. End poem.
Great read there, Jean. And what a nicely written brevity story by Bookworm Dave 227. I like that he gives a nod to the music of Debussy. I'm probably pronouncing that wrong, but that's as close as I get. And I like that he brings in a familiar character, Pan, and gives him a younger brother. But for all I know, I mean, I don't know everything about mythology. So for all I know, Pan does have a brother named Zan, but I'm pretty sure he doesn't. But either way, it's cool. Like it's but a nice work of imagination. And I like it how it gives a nod to the importance of music, and also speaks on kind of like a sibling rivalry, which is something that I think many of us can relate to. And I thought there were great lines throughout, but I really liked, now his horn has blown for the last time. He is teaching a younger apprentice to give warnings, to give closure of a day. Wonderful lines and very well done by Bookworm Dave 227. So thank you very much, Dave, for sharing with us.
I thought it was a clever take on the prompt, because when you look at that prompt, you could kind of see exactly where he pulled this from. The boy with the horn, dressed similar to what you would see Pan dressed as, in that same kind of loincloth and what have you. But yeah, I thought this was good. Pan played his flute to the winds. Debussy spoke. It was flute playing. In the music, Debussy made him stand out. Little has been composed about Zan, the younger brother of Pan. So the first two stanzas, actually, Zan played his horn to warn others, sounding an alarm of threats from other lands or animal threats to livestock. He would sit honing his horn, shaping calls. He really was nicely descriptive about the character. So that was very well done. So I have to say, nice story, and thank you very much for sharing with us tonight. Bookworm Dave 227.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Great comment, Jean. And this next poem I put up, I'm going to read, but before I read it, I do have to give a heads up to JoJo and Monarch that their story is next, and they're supposed to call in to read. So this is their heads up to be prepared to call in to read their collaboration story. And so up next, we have The Key Beneath the Moss by S.E. Vesper. And it goes like this. They said the forest kept its secrets far beyond the last cottage light, where roots coiled like sleeping dragons and the pines whispered only at night. No one from the village wandered there except for Ellen. She was the miller's daughter, small enough to slip between brambles, curious enough to ignore warnings. One autumn evening, while gathering mushrooms, she noticed a glimmer beneath a blanket of moss. At first, she thought it was dew. Then she knelt and brushed away the green. A key lay hidden in the earth. It was no larger than her hand, yet it shone as though it held a piece of sunrise inside its golden teeth. Ellen tucked it into her pocket. The forest immediately grew quiet, not silent, waiting. She followed a narrow trail she had never seen before. It wound between ancient stones, past a stream that flowed uphill, and beneath branches hung with silver lichen. As dusk settled, she reached a door, not a house door, a door standing alone in the side of a hill, carved with owls, foxes, and crowned trolls. The golden key fit perfectly. The lock clicked. Warm light spilled through the opening. Inside stretched a hall of roots and crystal, where tiny lanterns floated like fireflies. At its center sat an old king, his beard woven with leaves. You found it, they said. The key, the choice. Ellen frowned. I don't understand. The king smiled. Most who find the key seek treasure. You followed wonder instead. They gestured toward the glowing chamber. Gold overflowed from chests. Jewels sparkled in towering heaps. Yet beyond them stood something else, a library of living trees, their bark inscribed with stories. Take one gift, the king said. Ellen walked past the treasure, past the diamonds, past the crowns. She rested her hand upon a story tree. The leaves rustled. The king laughed softly. Then you have chosen well. When Ellen returned home, the golden key was gone. But each winter evening, when snow gathered at the windows, she could still hear the forest whispering. And whenever she told a tale, children swore they saw golden light flickering between the pages as though a hidden door had opened once more. End poem. Um, oh my goodness gracious, this is just absolutely beautiful storytelling.
Mm-hmm. I agree. I absolutely agree. I really enjoyed this from beginning to end. I thought that the characters were nicely done. The story was well thought out. Let me see what I actually typed because it makes a difference. And there was an excellent take on that prompt. It was a good story told. I thought it was well written. I really did enjoy the piece. I thought it was imaginative, and I thought he did a great job. Um, wow, wait a minute, my mouse took off on its own, or she did an excellent job. Um, where is it? Where is it? At first she thought it was dew, then she knelt and brushed away the green. A key lay hidden in the earth. It was no larger than her hand, yet it shone as though it held a piece of sunrise inside its golden teeth. Um, I mean, that's just my thoughts on the imagery in it. They talk about going through a door, and she walked past the gold, which I thought was, usually that's the way a story goes. Oh, look, I found a treasure, but it didn't go there. It really was so much nicer than that in a way. Um, yeah, I thought that I really liked it a lot. I thought that there was a lot going on. I did like but each winter evening, the last two stanzas there, I really enjoyed them as well. So very nice job, and thank you for sharing with us, S.E. Vesper. Nice piece.
Absolutely. Great comment there, Jean. Yeah, this has wonderful storytelling, great imagery, great narrative, wonderful use of spacing to kind of provide a sense of buildup of tension and intensity. I do like how there is that lesson learned. This is captivating throughout, and there is that idea of that the true treasures is the stories that we pass along from one generation to the next. And I thought there was such great lines throughout, but I especially liked it where it says the forest immediately grew quiet, not silent, waiting, and then all the way down from there. I mean, it just really kept your attention. It was beautifully written, and very well done by S.E. Vesper. I don't know why I was going to say Haven, but you know, so beautifully written.
Absolutely. Okay,
And
well, I'm going to pick up.
yeah, I guess the next story up is going to be by Monarch Soul and JoJo, and I know they wanted to call in, so
Right.
you know, you
I'm
want,
gonna pick them up right now, Pam.
all right.
Hello, Jojo, and hello, Monarch.
Hey JoJo, hey Monarch. Good to have you
Hello.
both here.
Hey there.
Good to be here.
Yeah, and I'm so glad both of you were inspired. I have put up your story, Ellie and the Pair by Monarch Soul and T.S. JoJo. And go ahead and give that a read for us.
All right, this is Ellie and the Pair by Monarch Soul and JoJo. Ellie wore a crown made of daisies and thread, blonde curls as long as Bruno's brown head. She called him her guard with his soft, shaggy hair, her brave, gentle Bruno, her best little bear.
She kissed his warm nose and whispered her plans of castles, blue rivers, and faraway lands, where one day a prince with a kind little grin might knock on the trees and ask to come in.
Ellie's other friend was a fully grown moose. Monty carried her high past the birch and the spruce. She ruled all the forest from his back like a queen, her long golden curls in a bright moonlit sheen.
Together they roamed, adventurous and brave, exploring the forest, the hills, and the caves. Her kingdom was perfect from meadow to spring, but deep in her heart, someone was missing.
Then came the Fates in their long crooked cloaks, with fingers like twigs and their voices like smoke.
Their message was clear: your prince you will find, but when the horn calls, he must leave you behind.
You will love him in full, he'll pair you his way, but never forget the friends who will stay.
The sound of a horn on a warm summer wind called to the girl with a forest of friends. The moose to carry her and Bruno to guard her. They followed the wind, who called to discover a slip of a boy with hair of a bear, long, scrawny moose legs, swift as a hare.
Meandering stroll past weeping pears, fluttering doves light on the air. Light-hearted dance twirls on the path, courtship blooming beneath a moonbath.
On a black charger, spear held high, he rode into the distance across the night sky. Called into battle, he simply can't stay. When he'll return, the fates cannot say. So valiant a warrior with spear and shield, his courage will stand, his love will not yield.
Sent to the girl with the long curly hair, from a distance so far to slice a pear.
Quickly, my dear, he withers away. Touch to your lips, convince him to stay. Love like a dove flutters and flits. Hold it quite gently, so longer he sits.
A wound to the chest blooms in its way. Word travels quickly, her knees start to sway. Down on the ground, mid the bluebells, she falls. To guardian birch trees, in mourning she calls.
Oh, why is my prince not here with me still, but roaming the stars and heavenly hills?
Her beautiful crown she trades for soft leaves. Pondering still waters, his memory she breathes. A little bluebird, its soft singing stirs. Memories of mates all covered in furs. Lumbering Bruno and tall Monty Moose. She calls for her friends with unshaken roots. End poem.
Wonderful read and write, Monarch and JoJo. Very much appreciate this. And Jean, your thoughts.
Well, I thought this was an excellent piece. And when we used to do the stories, that's the way we used to like to see it done, to take each of the prompts and incorporate them into the full story. And I think you guys did a wonderful job with that. You pulled each one of these prompts in and made it part of this full story. So nicely done, nice work. The story itself was nicely thought out. I mean, I doubt you did it in sections. I'm sure you had a mindset of the story from beginning to end as well. Um, great imagery, uh, nice thoughts. Uh, I was kind of I like this. Well, I like the fates. I thought that was nicely pulled together. Then came the fates in their long crooked cloaks with fingers like twigs and their voices like smoke. Their message was clear: your prince you will find, for when the horn calls, he must leave you behind. You will love him in full. He'll pair you his way, but never forget the friends who will stay. The sound of a horn and warm summer winds called to the girl with the forest of friends. The moose to carry her, and Bruno to guard her. They followed the wind, who called to discover a slip of a boy with hair of a bear, scrawny, long, scrawny moose legs, swift as a hare. I kind of was, I kind of went to that because I thought you tied in that image of the fates, and then I liked what you did with the image of the boy with the horn. I thought they tied in nicely. Not that the others didn't, but they just kind of caught me. And I thought that was very well done. So it was a nice piece all the way through. So wonderful job. Wonderful, wonderful job.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Great comment, Jean. Yeah,
Hmm.
I thought this was beautifully written all the way through. I like how you took and wrote to like pretty much all the prompts, but it was a cohesive write, telling this beautiful story with a beginning, a middle, and an end. Wonderful imagery, great rhyme and flow. It's one of those pieces that I love that I can see the connection to the artwork, but I also really love that if the artwork wasn't there, I would
Hmm.
still really enjoy this as a story. And it's a beautiful story on, to me, on the idea that for whatever reason, love may not always last forever, but there will be friends along the way to comfort you, to be there for you. And I thought there was great lines throughout, but I especially like on a black charger, spear held high, he rode into the distance across the night sky. Called into battle, he simply can't stay. When he'll return, the fates cannot say. So valiant a warrior will spear and with spear and shield, his courage will stand, his love will not yield. Sent to the girl with the long curly hair, from a distance so far to slice a pear. Quickly, my dear, he withers away. Touch to your lips, convince him to stay. Love like a dove flutters and flits. Hold it quite gently. No longer he sits. So longer he sits. Wonderful lines all the way through and very well done. Do either or the both of you want to say anything about your right?
Take it, Monarch.
Um, I had fun writing it. I absolutely loved using the prompts and turning them into a story. Uh, it was just fun.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. We kind of took each of us wrote a few stanzas independently, and then the last few stanzas we kind of wrote together, and so it was a fun collaboration.
Nice.
Nice.
Yeah, you did
Nice.
a great job with that.
Yes, I have to agree. I have to agree. Great. I liked hearing that. Well, I hope you guys aren't going to run off because we only got two more poems, and I figured I'd utilize your voices.
Sure.
Unfortunately, I do have to go. It's bedtime.
Oh, you do?
So,
Okay.
yeah.
That is understandable. That is understandable. So, but thank you for calling in, Monarch.
Thanks, Monarch.
Yep.
Have a good night.
Later. Happy birthday, Pam.
Thank you.
Oh yeah, happy birthday, Pam.
Oh, thank you very much. Thank you. Well, John, I'm glad we'll have your voice for this next one. It is The Cycles of Me, the Abyss, and the Ascent by Lena 61. and go ahead and give that a read for us, please.
You just didn't want to read the long one.
Exactly. Yeah.
All right, so this is The Cycles of Me, The Abyss and the Ascent by Lena 61. Why do I still feel abyss even when I'm standing in the vibrance of the rising sun? Why do I still secretly crave the devil's kiss? And when he calls, I won't answer because my mind will be changed. Again, once I've found a moment of bliss. Am I just Icarus with hopes too high that I'll disintegrate and burn off in the sky? Or am I a phoenix whose power surrounds, sheltered to safety, back down to ground? Even inside the sun, my shaded heart won't fry. I'm neither Icarus nor a phoenix, or Tarzan or Jane. I'm the bell that refrains the tune set inside, the motion my story sets sails across tides. It navigates the seas, it rockets to Mars. Soon we will be moving matter on the stars. It always felt like the warmest blanket, but left me blurry, numb, less alive. Trauma, addiction, I know where it lives. It never tore down my walls, couldn't make knees weak nor fall. It made me adapt to what steals my energy and sleep. I know its tricks, stay ocean deep. I can feel the pulse inside me, the yin, the yang. For me, they've always been one and the same. I need my light to see through the dark when I can't see. I need my dark to carry my light when I can't be. I'm not me without all three, the cycles of me. Without one, I've lost the key. Without the other, I've lost the will to be free. Lost my sight to see, my sigil, my scar, my need to go far, catching my north, shining star. Imprint my hopeful decree. I'm a walking contradiction. I know you agree. One day I see it gray with folds of fray, but new shapes make me want to stay and find a way. That's not a wobbly opinion of mine. I've just found the nuance in the lines. Disco discovered notch along my spine. I realized it needs a polish and shine. I'll be back much later once my motor's aligned. My iridescent, bubbly, brilliant internal inertia. My core is under construction, mopping up my path through the floor, coming back through a hidden door, more illuminated than ever before. Once my insides are polished, new direction locks in. Transformation, information, that's becoming one. It's in formation. Like reflected on mirrors, the insight repeated back to me. Thought I didn't know who I was, but the me is in every one, every body. It's just me looking back at me, the self-cycle factory. I see you, I relate, contradictions, perceptions. I don't negotiate, I don't negate. I am the gate, I can cross it. So can you. It's just internal debate. Close or I can open, escape or endure. We've crossed into crossroads, lion fate. The mind, the body, the action, the state, the core. Take the drop, redirect resources, restart. We are all a part of the circle, the world's yin and its yang. The pieces you don't have, I bring. The parts she lacks, he waters. There's no waste in this life. We are givers and takers. Give it, take, receive it, refine and realign to draw your line. Live life like a forest. The parts they lack get watered. Hope it's porous. Life brought to flourish. The trim, the restack. Time to rekindle the fire or let it unpack. Do we build a new structure made of solvent? all a chemical mixture of the elements, communicate desire, debate involvement. You didn't just make it back on track. You found the sacred road to bridge myself intact. End poem.
Nice read, John.
Absolutely. Wonderful read there, John. And Jean, your thoughts?
Well, I think the piece was very well done. There's long author's notes that says, part 1 pairs with the image 9. Act 2, parts 3 and 4 pairs with image 12. So, I mean, she too incorporated different images from the contest into the piece. And I thought it was a clever take on the prompts. I liked the tone she carried throughout, and I thought it was very creative, and I really enjoyed it. So, nice job, and thank you for sharing with us tonight, Lena61.
Oh, I have to agree. Great comment there, Jean. Yeah, I thought this had strong lines throughout, amazing imagery and metaphors, a great flow, a wonderful first person narrative. It's definitely a poem I'm going to have to read a couple more times, or a story I'm going to have to read a couple more times to really dig into it. But of course, I plan on doing that with all the entries anyways. But to me, I just really like how this speaks on an individual's journey of growth and discovering who they are, and realizing that there's just so many parts that a singular spirit can be made of. It definitely feels spiritual and philosophical, and I like that. And I thought there was great lines throughout, but I do especially like, I see you, I relate contradictions, perceptions, I don't negate. I am the gate, I can cross it, so can you. It's just internal debate. Close or I can open, escape or endure. We've crossed into crossroads, lion, fate, the mind, the body, the action, the state, the core. Wonderful lines and very well done by Lena61. And John, you did a great read of that. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I liked this. I got a sense of sort of descent, and then like rebuilding, and then reascending, as if someone is kind of like going, deep into themselves, introspectively, doing some emotional work. The yin and the yang, and some of the other images as well. The part about needing the light. I don't remember where it was now, but sort of the how light and darkness go hand in hand. Where is that? Really, really nicely done. Search for light. I need my light to see through the dark when I can't see. I need my dark to carry my light when I can't be. I thought that was a really strong idea. So yeah, I got the sense of someone kind of turning inward and doing some internal work, and then maybe reemerging, not repaired, but just sort of improved maybe. So really, I thought it was a really fun write, really nice write, and fun to read.
Absolutely. Great comment there, John. And our last story poem for the night is Uberin by Vizago. And Jean, whenever you're ready, go ahead and give that a read for us, please.
Sure, Uberin. They say the child was born wrong. The midwife would not meet their eyes after the birth. The priest left quickly. Candle still burned inside the small house when the old woman whispered it. Uberin. The word itself, older than prayer. Nobody truly remembered anymore why the mountain carried that name. Only that long before kings, before crosses, before even the sagas, unwanted children were carried there, offered upward to gods no one prayed to now. The mother held the bundle tighter. The father wept once where nobody could see. Then they wrapped the child against the cold and began climbing. There was a longer path, safer, but winter already pressed the valleys and food was thin that year. The steep route would take one night, the other 2 days, so they chose the mountain. They climbed at sunset. Fog swallowed the lower trails first. Stone after stone, their boots searched darkness, while the child made small sounds inside the cloth. Not cries, worse, trust. By dawn, they reached the top. The wind waited there like something awake. People still speak quietly about the house below Oberon. They say a woman walks there at night, carrying something close to her chest, sometimes weeping, sometimes singing softly to a calm child that never grew old. End poem.
Great read there, Jean. And this is such a wonderful write by Vizago. It is not in the contest. It was a pre-write put on the contest board, but he sent it to me, and it is such a wonderful dark story based on Norwegian folklore. That I said, absolutely, that would be perfect for a storytelling show. I did click on the Wikipedia link, but unfortunately, reading Norwegian is not one of my many talents. So,
Why not, Pam?
but
Why not?
I get the general idea from the write itself, and plus what he puts in his AN, inspired by stories connected to Urburen in Rogaland, Norway, and old Nordic beliefs surrounding Utbird, unwanted children abandoned in remote places. Like it makes me think of the old Irish and English tales, or about changelings. But I like the use of spacing in this. It's wonderful imagery. It grabs your attention and holds it. I like the connection to mythology, and I especially like that this poem, this story, makes me want to learn more about Nordic folklore and Norwegian myths. And I think there's great lines throughout, but I especially liked they climbed at sunset, fog swallowed the lower trails first, stone after stone, their boots searched darkness, while the child made small sounds inside the cloth. That just grabs a hold of your heart.
Right.
Not cries, worse, trust. Oh my goodness gracious.
Yeah.
Beautiful storytelling.
Huh.
And your thoughts, John?
Well, Pam, you just pulled out my favorite part of this poem. That not cries, worst trust. Boy, that just killed me. So I think this must sort of be the author's note says it's connected to stories. I don't know if this is like a sort of based upon like a single kind of a story or fable or whatever, but it's really, really well done. This is such a strong poem. And I think also the ending image, of the mother having taken the child, the unwanted child, up to I don't really know, is it to the mountains or I don't remember. But
It seems like it is.
Yeah. Oh yeah. By dawn they reached the top. So taking the child out, and I don't know, leaving the child or maybe just staying there with the child. That last stanza is really strong. But just the whole idea that there's such a thing as unwanted children is just utterly just distressing as hell. So I thought Vizago, who I've been reading a fair bit of in recent weeks, this is just another really strong poem by Vizago, and dark.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it really is. It really is. Great comment there, John. And Jean, your thoughts?
I really thought that this was a great piece penned. The story was well told, and he did a great job with this. There's not a whole bunch of extra words. It says more than enough with the words he chose. I thought it was very nicely done. It kind of got me in the beginning. They said the child was born wrong. The midwife would not meet their eyes after the birth. The priest left quite quickly. Candle still burned inside the small house when the old woman whispered it. Uberin, the word itself, older than prayer. Nobody truly remembered anymore why the mountain carried that name. Only that long before kings, before crosses, before even the sagas, unwanted children were carried there, offered upward to gods no one prayed to now. Um, I, to me, that kind of caught my heart right away. The story of them taking the child was another thing. But
Mm.
then when you get down to the end, um, people still speak quietly about the house below Uberin. They say a woman walks there at night, carrying something close to her chest, sometimes weeping, sometimes singing softly to calm a child that never grew old. Uh, so, even though they were taken to that mountain and left, it seems that there was someone there that picked them up and cared for them, I would think, you know, uh, in that last, what, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 lines. So it kind of softened the blow a little bit. But yeah, it's amazing some of the folklore you find, isn't it? But very well done, Vizago, and thank you for sharing with us tonight.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Great comment, Jean. Man, this has been such a wonderful night of storytelling poems that I really appreciated. Thank you, as always, Jean, for being my twisted sister. Thank you to Monarch and Jojo for calling in. Thank you to Robbie and Monty for hanging on the board. Thank you to everyone who's listening now or will be listening later. We truly appreciate you all. And of course, thank you to everyone who provided rights for the show. Do make sure to keep an eye out on the contests and topic boards put up by Late Night Poets, hosts and hostesses, because you're sure to find something to inspire. And Jean, is there anything you'd like to say in closing?
Well, happy end of your birthday, Pam. I hope you had
Thank
a good
you.
day, and I hope you have a great night, what's left of it. I know it's late, but I know you. And it was a great show, really. Wonderful prompts and wonderful poems, stories, poems. Um, well done, well done. So yeah, nice job as always. Thank you, Twisted Sister. Thank you, JoJo.
Thank you.
Thank you,
And
Thank you,
Monty,
guys.
Robin, Monarch. Y'all take care. Have a good
Bye.
night. Okay, Pam. Good night. Stay out of trouble.